So what if we want to put all our tests in a specific module in Django? VS Code's UI doesn't allow us to select any directories nested, but we can still specify a proper path in settings.json file. This file is located inside .vscode directory. And as you can see, we have a tutorial directory specified there, because we did choose it in user interface and testing tab previously. Let me change it to something else, for example, /tests. But before we do that, let's add a new test, which is located just in our Django project directory, to make sure it won't be detected after we change our settings.json file. I will call my file testassertion2.py and add a very simple test. And let's open our test UI. And this test is automatically detected. Let's run it. Now let's get back to settings.json and specify that we want to look for tests only in test module. Let's get back here, and we no longer see this test assertion2.py. That's how we confirm it's actually working. It may be pretty useful because sometimes you don't want your test to be detected by VS Code's testing suite, or you just want to look for them in specific directories. Anyway, this is a very flexible solution to have those additional settings in settings.json file. Alternatively, you can specify test paths in pytest.ini, but it will actually mean we try to look everywhere, trying to match path by pattern. On the contrary, VS Code's settings.json won't do any pattern matching or stuff like that. It just knows that we need to look inside tutorial/tests. Another tip is to use custom debugger. If you want to customize your debugging configurations, you can do it in launch.json file. This file is where VS Code expects us to have our run or debugger setups defined. So let's create this file inside .vscode directory. And we start with a version. So the most recent version is 0.2.0. And let's continue with configuration key. And it's a list. Start with our configuration name. We can choose any name for the configuration. For example, debug tests. In this next field is type. It's where we specify our debugger. For the debugger, we're going to use Microsoft Debug PY implementation, as it's well maintained and integrates seamlessly with VS Code. So let's say debug PY. And one key setting is to specify the request parameter, which should be set to test. This tells VS Code that it's a configuration used for testing. And don't worry about VS Code saying this is not a valid one, because it most certainly is. And another very cool setting is just my code. In case you don't want to debug any third-party libraries, just put true, otherwise false. And let's see our test. Double-click to open it. So we have a breakpoint on line 4. And to confirm that test is still working, we can run and debug it. And we stopped exactly at line 4. We still have access to debug console. Yeah, it works. Also, we should be able to see our configuration in this select box in Run and Debug tab. Thanks for watching. We hope this video was useful for you. If you're interested in Django project development, check out Andev's website in the description below.